Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is another special episode of Second to None. Thank you guys for joining in and watching. We appreciate that. What we like to do is here on Second to None, right before since the football season is right up on us, we like to go one-on-one with each team representative so they can just have a chance to just say, hey, why their team is pretty special this year and what they feel like their team can actually achieve. So on this episode, we got Auburn Tigers. What are the Tigers going to do this year? And what better guest can I have on right now is the Auburn guru, Mr. Kenny. He's part of our Second to None team. He's a big part of why we're successful. So we're going to see why the Auburn Tigers are going to be decent this year, I guess. In his way, they're going to be good. So, hey, Ken, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
It's good to have you, man. It looked like you're ready to talk some Auburn football, and you're gonna let us know why you guys going to be good. So, coming off the year that you guys had last year, the interim coach, he ended really well. So like, who freezes in this year? What's going to be different about the Auburn Tigers this year that people should watch out?
Well, I mean, another thing he's done is he's come in there and he's told these kids, let's be the foundation that turns Auburn around, and he's got them buying into it. I mean, clearly you can tell that in the recruiting class. He's up to number 12, and number 12, when he stepped in back in November, he was number like 80-something. So he's never snapped a ball at Auburn as a head coach, and he's already got us to the number 12 recruiting class. With coming up this weekend, we got could be three possible bigs, which would put us into the top 10 if we land just one of them. So 2 5-stars and a 4-star. So with that being said, Q Freeze has never snapped a ball at Auburn as a head coach, and possibility before the first snap of the season, he's already got a top 10 recruiting class for next year, and it's not even over. So, I mean, you got to respect that, and the fact that he's come in and he's got these kids buying in to what him and Montgomery and Cadillac and all them are saying is, look, let's be the foundation that turns Auburn around and gets them back to where they're at.
So how does that translate to this year, though? A lot of teams are getting some good recruits for next year, but week 0 is up on us in about 2 weeks, I think it is, on the 26th or something like that.
Yes.
So
sir.
like how on this September 2nd, how's Auburn gonna come out and how they're gonna start the year?
Well, coming out, everybody knows. Everybody knows they're not the first game of the season. They won't have their star running back, Jarquez Hunter, but it's UMass. We got enough running backs in the core. Quarterback situation is still up in the air, but it's not going to really matter who they put there because right now it's a fight. Robbie Ashford, Holden, Peyton Thorne, they're all fighting for it, but it doesn't matter. From what I've seen in practice video, it doesn't matter who Hugh Freeze puts there. We'll be okay. They're throwing the ball good. Went and picked up, to me, is going to be a pretty dominant receiver from Jacksonville State. He showed out down there last year. So, I mean, I feel like the passing game, Hugh Freeze is going to sell the passing game with Montgomery this year. They're bringing in big-time stars, Perry Thompson and everything. I'm going to be honest with you. I've went on record once, and I'll go on record again. I believe Auburn has their first 1,000-yard receiver this year since 1999. That's huge because Auburn is not a passing team. But I believe Hugh Freeze is going to come in this year and going to make everybody respect the pass. Now, with that being said, our running back room is going to be ridiculous. We are the only, and I've did my research, we are the only school that at any point in the game could play 5 running backs. 5. All 4 of them can go the distance. All 4 of them are lightning fast. So it's going to be what it is. Everybody knows Jarquez Hunter is supposed to be out for game 1. There's not a definite yes or no to that, but they're saying he's going to take a 1-game suspension for what he did. Now, I say everybody keeps arguing with me that Auburn's going to have a mediocre season with a 5, 6, 7 game wins. Y'all are wrong. I can go through the schedule with you right now and tell you why. We blow out UMass. UMass doesn't stand a chance on the Plains. Auburn's going to open that game up to make a statement. Look, we're back. You're going to have to play with us. Week 2, go to Cal. Cal's okay, but here's the problem I have with Cal. Jarquez Hunter comes back. Jarquez Hunter's coming back with a mission. He's going to make a statement. He's not, from what I'm understanding, he's not too happy about what happened in the offseason because he's got his own theory on, it happens in college, let it go. But it is what it is. Week 3, we come back home for Stanford. Easy game at the house. No problem. Week 4, we go to Texas A&M. Everybody keeps talking about Texas A&M this, Texas A&M that. Here's the problem. History says it doesn't happen. A&M, we own A&M in A&M. We own them. Everybody knows that. What happened last year? Well, I mean, everybody said A&M was going to beat us after they beat Alabama. But, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Auburn beat them? Oh, that's right, they did. I'm not worried about A&M this year. They don't have nothing. Now, all right, Dustin, hold on. I'll get to that. Well, let's week 5. I've called it. I called that weeks ago on College Football Dogs first podcast. Auburn beats Georgia this year. I just don't see Georgia's quarterback being battle tested to play in Jordan Hare at nighttime. Not no 8:15 game prime time on ESPN. I'm sorry. 1, it's going to be loud. 2, it's going to be It's going to be a nightmare for that kid. That kid's going to we're going to welcome him to the SEC. Y'all say what he wants. He's been at Georgia for 3 years, yeah, but he's never played a complete game on the road. That makes a difference in the SEC. Ask Bryce Young. He learned that his first game.
Well,
okay.
Hey, Ken, let me ask you this, because it's the Tigers and everything. I think there's so many better teams inside the West than Auburn. Like, I mean, how does Auburn how did they make such a significant jump in just year 1? I mean, you still got Alabama, and I know Alabama is going to be the last topic because I know how passionate you are about Alabama. But you got Alabama. You know what I'm saying? You still got LSU.
Well, I've said it all along. I said it when they was talking about it on CFT. Auburn loses to LSU. LSU is the team to beat this year. I'm an Auburn fan, and I'll tell you that. They're the team to beat. They have the talent. I've been said all along. I don't see Auburn going to Death Valley and winning. I mean, that we have a curse down there since 1999. It's hard for us to win down there for some odd reason. I don't know why. I mean, but I've said we lose to LSU. My thing is, Ole Miss is a toss-up game. I mean, it's at home. It's in Auburn. It's in Jordan Hare. It's a toss-up game. So it could go either way. That could be a win or a loss. I'm not going to say a win or a loss. That's my toss-up game out there. We beat Mississippi State. They're garbage this year. Just to be honest. Vanderbilt. I don't care what Chris has to say. Vanderbilt is fixing to lose to Auburn this year, and he knows it. He knows it. He knows it in his heart. Auburn beats Vanderbilt.
Hey, Brian Howard says every team past Alabama and LSU in the West is capable of winning 9 to 10 games.
Every team past Alabama and LSU?
Everyone outside of Alabama and LSU is capable of winning 9 to 10 games.
I don't see how you can say Mississippi State is. They struggling. They struggling hard. They don't even know who the offensive line is going to be this year, and we're 2 weeks from football season. Come on, bro. Stop. No. Mississippi State at most wins 6 this year. At most. And then you said everybody in the West. A&M's going to get demolished. They got too much bad blood. They've been running their mouth too much, bro. Okay. Let
me ask you this. Does Auburn fans, are there expectations of year 1 of Hugh Freeze being there? Is it too high?
I don't think so, because around campus they're only expecting us. Everybody's only expecting us to win 7. I'm the one that's going out on a limb, and I feel like we win 9+, because there's toss-up games in there. Ole Miss, we'll beat New Mexico State. Now on to Arkansas. That's a toss-up game. It goes to Arkansas. We don't know what Arkansas is bringing. Don't nobody know what Arkansas ever brings to the table. Some years they hit, and some years they miss. And this is that year. I don't know what they're going to have. I mean, and now LSU, I'm still sold on them to be the best team, even though they got a couple key players out for the year with torn ACLs already, and we ain't even hit the season. I just feel like, LSU's the team in the West to beat this year. It's not Alabama. It's nobody else. It's LSU. LSU holds their own destiny to Atlanta.
Speaking Auburn fan here, absolutely. I have no idea what to expect from what I'm hearing. Our rush defense is getting smoked in practice. So I have a question for you. What does success look like this year in year 1 of Hugh Freeze? Does it got to be a 9-win season? Can it be 7? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, success would be to win 7 or 8. Above success for me would be 9. I personally feel we could win 9. Everybody on the plains, everybody I talk to, friends, because I have a lot of friends on there, I was only expecting us to win 7 or 8. But there's a lot of toss-up games in that could go either way that we talk about. Like I said, Ole Miss could go either way. That's going to be, well, everybody says it's going to be an offensive game, a running game, because you got Junkins on one side, you got Hunter and Batty and Sean Jackson and all them on the other side. But everybody knows when we think it's going to be an offensive game, it ends up being a defensive game. So I don't know either way. That there's a lot of toss-up games with Auburn this year because really and honestly, nobody knows what Auburn's really bringing to the table because Hugh Freeze is playing his cards like Hugh Freeze played his cards at Ole Miss.
Okay, let me ask you a question since you brought that up. You guys as quarterback, is he going to be ready this year to play some football?
Yeah.
Is he going to lead the Tigers?
Yes. And in my opinion, and everybody, I put it out there a couple of days ago because somebody asked me about it. I don't think it's Peyton Thorne. I don't. I think it's a redshirt freshman that's been there for 2 years. I think it's Holden. The kid's a beast. He was a beast in high school. Yeah, nobody wanted to give him credit. Horsons didn't want to let him play. The kid threw for over like 5,000 yards in high school. I mean, the kid can throw the ball. He's showing that in practice. Who they put there. But the thing about him is he can run an RPO offense because that's what he ran in high school. Auburn runs an RPO offense. Everybody knows that. The only thing different about it this year is Montgomery likes to spread it. Okay, I'm fine with that. But the thing about spreading the offense is you either have to play in the SEC. Let me put it like this. In the SEC, if you're going to run a spread offense, you either have to play them one or two ways, a man-to-man or a zone. Well, here's my thing. If you play us on a zone defense this year, you got to account. You're going to have to account for the running backs because Hugh Freeze has done said every play there will be 2 running backs. So Auburn's 5 running backs are Jarquez Hunter, Brian Batty, Sean Jackson, Austin, and I forget the other kid's name. But what I'm saying is you got to account for them. From what I'm understanding from talking to some people I know, they're shaving Sean Jackson for the 4th quarter. He's going to be like the late 3rd quarter, 4th quarter dude. Now, if that's the case, it's going to be nightmare on a lot of folks. And I'm going to tell you why. The kid is big. He reminds me a lot of Derrick Henry. He runs north and south. He's not an east and west. But he's big. It's going to take some power to tackle him. So if you imagine throwing him in at the beginning of the late 3rd, beginning of the 4th quarter, after you don't wore down a defense, it could end up brutal. I mean, let's just be honest. First legs, if you have fresh running back legs in the 4th quarter, it makes a difference. I mean, I could bring up scenario after scenario that this has happened. Alabama, when they had all them running backs, what did Nick Saban do? 4th quarter, fresh running back legs. What happened? They were running all over. Georgia's done it.
Okay.
That's my thing this year is y'all really don't know what Auburn's bringing to the table. But I will tell you this: they're bringing a running back room with 5 running backs. The only team in the country that has 5 legit running backs that can touch the field any given play. Cadillac Williams says, "I'm not holding none of them back." He's done said it. He's not holding them back. So I want to know how you game plan. I've been asking this question a lot. Can somebody explain to me how you game plan a game with 5, knowing that you're going to face 5 different running backs that whole game? And like Cadillac.
Yeah, but we have to, I mean, you have to admit, Kenny, he might have 5 running backs in the room, but you're not going to, like those guys, like the 4th and 5th guy, they're not going to get a lot of carries every game. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. So in reality is if you're looking at football, you're only looking at maybe 1 through 3 getting some touches. And as season goes along, unless people are getting hurt, it's just going to be the 1-2 guy. So while you guys got a deep running back, all college football has good running backs. You know, that's up to debate whether you can say if every college team has 5 good running backs. But I want to touch on this. Brian, who is a Auburn fan, he also said, Auburn fan here, he said, I have absolutely no idea what to expect. From what I'm hearing, our rush defense is getting smoked in practice. So how do you account for that? Because everyone's big statement is defense wins ball games.
Brian, but you got to understand the defensive players on Auburn. I can get online and post you different comments that they've made. The transfer out of Vanderbilt that everybody said was going to be trash. He come out and said this week. It was this week or last week. He said, "Look, I'm a senior and I played in the SEC." He said, "I'm going to tell y'all something." He said, "Sean Jackson and Jarquez Hunter is nightmares to tackle." He said, "It's like night and day." He said, "I've not tackled somebody like this since Derrick Henry and Henry Ruggs at Alabama." He said they're nightmares. That's why our rush defense is getting smoked. You got to understand, Jarquez Hunter, this whole time he's been suspended, went out west. He trained with some folks. I'll go ahead and tell you. He trained with Metcalf and a couple of the running backs out there that Metcalf know. I'm telling you, they done said Jarquez Hunter's feet movement and his ability to turn on a dime is 1,000% better than last year. Our rush defense, there's nobody. I'm telling y'all now, there's not a running back group out there, a 1-2 running back group that is, in my opinion, going to be better than Jarquez Hunter and Sean Jackson.
Gotcha. So, in closing, what are you guys' expectations against Alabama this year? You guys think you guys have a legitimate chance to beat your rival?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you why. Everybody knows you can take the records out the book. I don't care where you come from or where you stand from on this game. The records mean nothing. One thing about this game, when it hits the gridiron, it's all about blood. But the reason I think Auburn beats Alabama, and I've said this before, they're returning all 5 defensive linemen. Auburn ran for 318 yards on them last year with an interim head coach that he did great. He did great. I admit it. He just didn't have the experience. If he would have had the experience that, say, a Tommy Tuberville or a Nick Saban or Kirby Smart had, Nick Saban knew he was beat. That's the only thing. The only way Nick Saban beat Auburn last year was off experience as a head coach. Okay. Cadillac didn't have it. Now you got Hugh Freeze standing on the other side of him now. Here's the thing. Nick Saban has a losing record against Hugh Freeze. Nick Saban does not. Hugh Freeze is the only coach in the SEC right now that has a winning record against Nick Saban. And it'll be like that for a couple of years. Because if I'm not mistaken, it's 3-1. So he's got to at least win twice. And it's in Auburn.
Yeah.
Well, we have a go-to receiver. I read your comment right there. We got I don't have it pulled up right now beside me. We got the dude out of Jacksonville State that broke all the records down there with Dion last year. They saying he's in practice catching balls one-handed. Like it ain't nothing going up and getting them. I mean, there's receivers out there. The question is the question that Auburn needs to ask is, are they going to be supportive? Okay.
I think we're having some malfunctions with Ken right now. As you can see, the guy is pretty passionate.
Okay.
You back? Okay. So let me ask you this question: If you had to, in 30 seconds, if you had to give a pep talk to the Auburn Tigers this year for 30 seconds, what would you say? What would be your pep talk to the Tigers before they run out on the field for the first game?
First thing I'm going to tell you is quit listening to everybody else. Everybody keeps telling Auburn, you got to go play them. You got to go play them. Quit. Stop. We don't got to go play nobody. They got to come play us. We are us. They've got to come play us, y'all. Don't listen to all the people out there telling me they got to come play us. Play.
Well, I definitely hope when he's Kenny, when you're actually in person talking, that it doesn't go a malfunction just like this. I don't want to just cut it off with Kenny Frozen. I'm not sure if he's having bad weather or what, but it seems to be that the Tigers are looking for a bounce back year this year. First year under Hugh Freeze, and they're looking to make some noise. Where they land in the SEC West when it's all said and done, no one knows.
That's what I'm telling y'all. Don't listen to the naysay. They got to come.
Yeah, his Wi-Fi is acting up. So, hey, Ken's having some problems behind scene, but we just want to thank you guys for coming. I really wanted it to end with him giving a pep talk to his team. We here on Second and None, just getting ready for football season. And thank all you guys for tuning in to us and everything. We appreciate that. And, as a Kentucky fan, we do this show. We have a fan from each team trying to represent as much as possible. So from Second and None, from all you guys, thank you guys. Thanks, Kenny. I know you're probably going to be able to watch it when this is over, so I appreciate that. And thank you guys for watching Second and None. I'm Mike, your host, and take it easy.